Hey, what's up, guys? It's the MMA breakdown of UFC 235. Honestly, Robbie Lawler, I don't think he was out. I think it was a hell of a fight for what it is. Ben Askren can take a hell of a whooping and still come and win fights, but I believe Robbie got ripped off. And I want to say one thing: I think referees are stopping fights sooner and sooner than ever before. To be honest, I think most fights now are being prematurely stopped. I don't know why, but I noticed in MMA, as of TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo, these fights are being stopped way too soon. So, should there be a rematch? I think so. I think Robbie Lawler was doing a hell of a good chance to win this fight. He was busting up Ben Askren, almost had Ben Askren knocked out. But at the end of the day, stop prematurely stopping fights, because like Joe Rogan and Dominic Cruz both say, when someone has you in a choke like that, you can't really say I'm okay because you're getting choked out. But if he was out, he wouldn't have just stood right up immediately and say, "What are you doing?" That's the problem with MMA referees. I don't even care if you're Herb Dean or not. I just think they're getting prematurely stopped. You know, prematurely stopped is not a great thing. But as always, guys, what do you guys think? And I'm pretty shocked that Cody Garbrandt got knocked out. That was crazy. And then you had Mickey Gall fighting against Diego Sanchez, and Diego Sanchez did what he does best: grounds and pounds his opponents into oblivion. He just had Mickey Gall gassed out. And the thing about Mickey Gall is he's getting better and better, but he's still not on that elite level yet. So if he fights guys that are in like the top 15, then he has a chance to win. But guys in the top 10, it's going to be a very hard day for him. So that's just my opinion, man. I just think the fight between Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren was a hell of an entertaining fight for what it was. But at the end of the day, I just believe that the fight was prematurely stopped too quickly. And as Frank Mir said, fights nowadays are just getting stopped way too soon before the fight is actually over. So right now, we're currently going to watch Usman versus Tyron Woodley, and we'll see who wins and who doesn't. Is there going to be another upset? I don't know. I say Tyron Woodley's going to win easily. I kind of feel that Jon Jones might lose. For some reason, this underdog guy is saying, "I'm not scared. I don't care if you're Jon Jones or Anderson Silva. I'm just coming here to fight." And a lot of people who fight these legend characters like Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, GSP back in the day, and Fedor, they already went to the cage losing. They were just like, "I'm here to show up. But if I win, I win. But if I lose, it's okay." My thing is, the Woodley fight was a one-sided ass beating. I don't know if Woodley wasn't used to the pressure, or if Usman was that much better, his wrestling is so much better, or if Woodley was just going for a guillotine and one-punch knockout. I think Woodley was banking off of all his fights that he won were banking off one-punch knockout. And because he couldn't land the one-punch knockout or a submission, he had no answer. Woodley just throws one-punch knockout. And to be completely honest, just because you're dominating as a champion doesn't mean you're always going to be champion, because all he did was throw one or two power shots, and that was it. He couldn't take the pressure of Usman, but Usman only won because of wrestling. He wrestled him, held him up against the cage, and beat him easily. He made it look like it was another walk in the park. And for myself, Usman is an impressive guy. He just has cardio for days. And now Woodley is going to go back, and people are still going to say, you're a boring-ass fighter. You're a boring-ass fighter. Which, that's kind of the way he looked in this fight. He looked not like himself, like he thought he was going to hit him with one punch, and that was it. And that's a complete domination. And Usman says this in his post-fight interview. He might not be the best wrestler, striker, or mixed martial artist, but he mixes the game plan up very well. And he dominates fighters because his pressure is so dominating. That's the same thing with Khabib. The reason he wins is because his pressure is so damn intense. And that's the way he wins. And so at the end of the night, man, Usman has so high intense aggression. That's why he won this fight, because he was completely aggressive, and Woodley just stood back and was like, I don't really have much. He was just going for a one punch knockout, and to be honest, that's not right. That is not right. He needs to throw more kicks, knees, elbows, wrestling, and do other things. And in this game called mixed martial arts, you have to switch it up. You cannot just be a one punch knockout artist with wrestling defense. It's not the Chuck Liddell days, and you see the only person who does it very well with the one trick pony is Khabib. But Khabib now has some decent stand up, so he can stand and bang if he has to, but his bread and butter is taking you down and grounding and pound you. But Woodley, for an example, all he's known for is that one punch brutal knockout. So if he can't land that, then that's all he has to offer. But Usman is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Smith versus Jon Jones. It wasn't a amazing fight. Really, it wasn't. It was a one-side beatdown. I believe it was one of those kind of fights that the fighter shows up like, oh my God, it's Jon Jones. I'll be able to hang with them. I'm not going to try to win. I could hang with them, go to a decision, and say in my heart of hearts, I did win. No, you just got beat down completely. You know, that's the thing. When you just stand there and throw nothing and really do nothing, you're just standing like a punching bag. You need to throw. You need to be completely dominating. You need to be aggressive. You need to come forward. If you're not coming forward, you're not coming and doing anything, how do you think you're going to win? And then you're going to go back to the judges, go back to your training facility, look at the tape and go, wow, I didn't do anything. No, you didn't. You just stood there and got beat down. You didn't throw punches. You just stood there. And the reason Jon Jones wins, he lands like 80-90% of his strikes. Same thing with Usman. He was throwing 80-90% of his strikes and landing. So for myself, I just believe that's why Jon Jones won. He's on a different level. He's not scared to throw stuff, not scared to go for takedowns. Even if he's throwing leg kicks after leg kicks, he's landing stuff. And that's the point. So at the end of the day, it's like there's different levels to this stuff. There's Jon Jones level, and then there's other people. And I believe it was like the guy didn't perform because he was scared. It was like a deer in headlights. He was like, oh, I'm in here with Jon Jones. I'll hang and bang, but I'll try. So at the end of the day, Jon Jones is the baddest dude on the planet. He's going down as the best 205-pound champion. He's completely dominated with 12 title defenses. That dude's just a savage. But for myself, I just think he was just scared that he was in there. He couldn't throw anything. And I just think the reach advantage, Jon Jones is so diverse, but you gotta throw. That's the main thing. If you're not throwing nothing, how you think you're going to win? You're just getting punched and beat up. Like if someone's throwing 10, 12, 13 punches and you're trying to counter that and you're not countering it with 1 or 2 punches, you're not throwing anything back, the guy's going to keep coming forward. And maybe this is the kind of ass whooping some of these fighters need to improve. But I just believe that Jon Jones is too good. And Anthony Smith is the guy that I guess just needs to improve. And he is a good fighter. He's a tough, durable guy. But who do you think's next for Jon Jones? Is it Daniel Cormier? I don't really know who's next in the light heavyweight division, because the light heavyweight division is not really stacked, because he's beaten everybody. The only guy I think that could hang and bang with him would be like an Anthony Johnson, but from what I understand, that guy is still retired. But Jon Jones is not calling out anybody in this fight. He's not calling out any heavyweight, any light heavyweight. He's just saying that he is going to take the victory, and that's what he's going to do. And whatever happens, happens. But Anthony has a lot of heart, and he says the same thing that Woodley said. It wasn't my night. I didn't really throw anything. I think what it was, it's the pace that people are setting on these fighters that they're not used to. They're used to being the complete dominating ones. So for myself, we'll see what happens, but he will be back. But will he ever get another title shot? I don't know, but that's my take on the fight, man. I just think he needs to improve and throw. And these fighters that are losing need to throw and throw and throw. If you're not throwing anything, you're just losing. And that's the truth, baby. You gotta throw. But that's my take of UFC 235. If you're not throwing punches, you're not winning fights.